FRISCO, here comes the April 25th NFL Draft and it's going to happen again. The brilliance of Jimmy Johnson, and that's the right word, brilliance, for his co-architecture of the dynastic 1990s Dallas Cowboys, will cause the underinformed to assume that every single thing Jimmy touched here turned to gold. And, to flip that every single thing that was gold here was transformed to that state thanks to Jimmy's brilliance. Like, say, the NFL Trade Value Chart. For almost 30 years now, it's been written and said, oftentimes by media people who've never stepped foot in Cowboys HQ but who do have access to Google, that the trade value chart is the brainchild of Jimmy. ProFootballTalk.com's Mike Florio made the common mistake this week, writing that, 1. Those Cowboys were built in large part by Jimmy Johnson's wheeling and dealing with draft picks, which is certainly true, and 2. Johnson developed a chart that demonstrated how to value draft picks, which is absolutely false. What Jimmy actually did was one day look across the desk that previously belonged to Tom Landry, but was now his to greet a lieutenant and close friend of owner Jerry Jones by the name of Mike McCoy. McCoy was an oil and gas expert, not a football man, and he was the first to admit the latter fact. He came to Dallas with Jones, as a minority owner with a title of team vice president, and he brought with him an engineering background and a mathematical brain. At some point, as these Jones-led NFL neophytes were attempting to make their way, they came to realize that when it came to making trades involving draft picks, and the GM Jerry and the almost all-powerful Jimmy loved making those deals, there was no set price in place, no agreed-to currency. McCoy took it upon himself to study years and years of NFL trades involving draft picks. And eventually, he created a system that assigned points to each pick. The No. 1 overall pick in an NFL draft would be worth 3,000 points, the final pick, No. 224 at the bottom of the 7th round, would be worth 2 points. He called it the trade value chart, and he handed it across that desk to Coach Johnson. And the rest is history. Including the myth that it's Jimmy's chart. This is the chart that New England Patriots coach Bill Belichick talked to the Boston media about this week, saying, for you to have a chart that's different than the other 31 charts isn't really that productive because now we're just arguing about which chart. My chart says this, your chart say that. I would say everybody probably uses about the same value chart. All teams have arrived at more or less the same place on how to value draft picks, as Belichick notes. That took a while. Now, 10 or 15 years ago there was some of that, he says. Oh, here's what we think it should be. Well, the other team's in a different ballpark because they're looking at a different chart. But while Dallas Trade Value Chart didn't become universal, it was the first of its kind, it was tremendously inventive, and it did offer a guideline of currency. The TVC has had to morph over the years, of course. The way rookies are paid, via wage scale, has altered some of the value. Compensatory picks alter the numbers. And free agency has created a whole new way for NFL teams to accumulate talent. I would say that when you look at the trades now, over the past few years, a majority of them fall within what we would say is a range of a fair trade, Belichick said. What the going rate would be is what the team gave up, and what the team got is about what you would expect them to get, and all of that is due to the creation of the Jimmy Johnson Trade Value Chart, which is actually the Mike McCoy Trade Value Chart.